Hey everyone, I love playing with knives and gloves, so of course here's part 2 of the best knife glove combos. Now I hope you enjoy this video, and without further ado, let's get started. So a viewer requested for me to match a bayonet doppler phase 4 with a pair of gloves, so I have a couple suggestions. Starting off, we have the Moto Gloves Polygon, and in my opinion this is the best option out of the other two pairs of gloves that I picked to match this knife, because not only does the inspect animation look really cool because of the big pair of gloves, it's also really cheap for how much blue there is on the gloves. One more thing, the blue also matches pretty well on the gloves and on the knife. Going up a little bit in terms of price, we have the Specialist Gloves Fade. Now, not only does the blue on the gloves match pretty well, you also get a lot of other color on the knuckles, or the shiny part, which is like a lot of blue, purple, pink, red, whatever you get. And it really depends on what seed you get, because unlike the Specialist Glove Marble Fades, the fades actually have different seed patterns and they look different for every different seed, so you can get something different every single time. The last recommendation I have for this knife is the Hand Wraps Cobalt Skulls. And while I personally don't really like Cobalt Skulls just because of the skulls on it, I think it's a really good pair of gloves because of the blue on it, and it also really matches. Well, what if you have a phase 2, right, or a phase 1, right? I mean, then of course some of these won't match, right? Yeah, well, definitely, but I think the Specialist Gloves Fade also still works really well. Personally, with a lot of combos, I think blue just matches really well with purple generally, just because the colors match pretty well. And there is actually some purple on the Specialist Fades, and you just have to kind of find the right seed again, because depending on what seed you get, you can get more purple on the gloves, or the shiny part of the gloves. Now, another pretty obvious knife glove combo would be the Imperial Plaid driver gloves and the Bayonet Doppler Phase 2. I mean, there really isn't too much to explain about this one, except for the fact that they're both purple, and purple matches, because purple on purple will always match, because it's the same color, you know, and purple. Are transitioning out of the bayonet knives, we have the Moto Gloves Eclipse and the Karambit Lure. Now, this lure is actually pretty flexible. You can use it with any knife as well, with lure, as long as it's pretty good wear. If it's bad, it just looks kind of weird. Now, this one is pretty clean in my opinion, because the gloves and the handle matches together with its dark colors, and it also kind of matches with the blade, the yellow blade with some of the yellow on the gloves. I think it just looks pretty cool. While this isn't a cheap combo, I think it's a pretty good simple combo if you don't want to burn your eyes off with some super shiny knife like a Doppler. Now, going on to the cheaper side, we got the Hand Wraps Constrictor and the Stiletto Knife Rust Coat. But yeah, if you're looking for something a lot cheaper, then this combo is the one to go if you're like just looking for maybe like a $200-$300 combo, because this one is really cheap. And on top of that, the gloves, the Constrictors, they're one of the cheapest gloves on buff right now. And the knife is actually pretty interchangeable, and the stiletto right now is $190 on buff, which is, I mean, it's understandably a lot for some people as well. So if you like change it with a falchion, it really only goes up to like around $100 for the falchion. So yeah, that's really cheap. That's around $150 in total, which is super good. Are immediately going back to the expensive side, we have a white combo here, which is the driver gloves King Snake and the classic knife Urban Mask. Now, a lot of people don't like Urban Masks, and it's probably one of the cheaper knives out there just because it looks grayish to them apparently, but in my opinion it looks more white than gray, so I think it's a really good option when you're looking for white combos. And on top of that, the King Snakes are usually paired with some vanilla knife, like a butterfly vanilla like Doc uses, but I think this is another really good alternative if you're looking for a cheaper knife and you spent way too much on the gloves, you know? Now, honestly, if you switch it up to a lower float Urban Mask like this M9 over here, it also looks incredibly good. And this one's a well-worn, I believe, so it really looks kind of closer to vanilla, but I think the scratches really look in place with the King Snakes here because of all the, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a lot of movement and a lot of detailing. Alright, but what if you don't like the King Snakes, and what if you want a different pair of gloves for this knife, because this knife still looks good, right? So then you would have the Moto Gloves Boom, and this is my favorite combo to come out of CS1, because not only because I made it, but I think it looks really good as a budget combo. And as I said in my last video, all the way back in CS1, the combo is really good because the knife and the gloves match really well, because they both look really scratched. And as I said as well, a lower float, like a well-worn on the gloves, looks even better. I'm just glad to know that CS2 hasn't messed it up. Or what if you don't like how the Urban Mask looks? Like, what if it looks too scratched for you and it looks too ugly for you? Well, another good alternative would be the Damascus steel, and once again, this one is interchangeable with another knife that is Damascus steel. And in my opinion, the color on the knife or the finish, it just matches pretty well with the knuckles, and especially when you inspect it, the handle also matches really well with your gloves and the knife as well. Alright, next up is the Specialist Gloves Field Agent and the Butterfly Knife Wet Hands. I lied, it's not wet hands, it's bright water. My bad, I got it wrong. But yeah, I think surprisingly when I was looking at this combo, the blues really matched more than I thought they would, especially when it's just a bright water, and bright waters usually aren't that good of a skin, so I'm pretty surprised that the colors match really well. And once again, the knife is interchangeable with any other cheaper option, but in my opinion, the butterfly just looks amazing, probably because the butterfly is my favorite knife, but yeah, I'm just super biased. One last thing, the handle is also blue, which makes it look so much better. Next up is the driver gloves black tie and the Karambit vanilla. And last video, I paired the Karambit vanilla with the sport gloves Nox, but this one is also a lot better, or really good as well on its own, because it's not only is it black, it also has a lot of white, so it can match with the agent that you're going with. Like for me, I'm going with Agent K, but it really matches with like any white sleeve agent. Alright, keeping with the same gloves, we have the Talon Knife Ultraviolet, and this one is also another one of my CS1 combos, and I just really like it because of the dark colors on the knife and the glove. And unlike the vanilla, you have more colors on the handle, which is purple for the ultraviolet. But in my opinion, I feel like in CS2 they made the driver gloves look more look like clay or rubbery. I don't know how to explain it. It just looks really oh yeah, waxed maybe, but it just looks not as shiny as it did in CS1 at least. Alright, well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as I say every video, please drop a like and a sub, and in the comments below tell me what you want to see next. I hope you guys have a good day.